Hello, everyone. My name is Suad. I'm a Syrian data scientist, and I'm here to talk about refugees are. What are refugees? What comes in your mind when we say refugees are? Um, an example, refugees are a burden. I don't know how many here agrees with that, but based on a survey in Italy, 65% of Italians agreed that refugees are a burden. And there are more examples. Migrants are a threat to Hungary. Refugees destroyed our environment. Migrants' dogs are stealing the places of native dogs. And there are more and more. And these are all public in the news and by officials. And that's just sad and hard to read every day. So why does this negative narrative matter? Studies have shown that negative narrative around refugees, or what's called xenophobia, is affecting social inclusion, financial aid. People basically don't want to fund their money to go to those people, bad people, the refugees. So it was also linked to attacks on refugees based on a controversial study by Facebook. And basically, refugees are not the crisis, it's the narrative we tell about them. And I can't mention how many awkward stories I've got into just because saying I'm from Syria. Like, for example, one day I got in a taxi and he says, "Where are you from?" "I'm from Syria." "Oh, Syrians are terrorists. We are afraid from Syrians." It's like 7 a.m. I'm in a taxi. I don't want to go into this. But that's what he heard in the news. He said, like, "Don't you hear the news? Don't you read the news?" And how do I explain that? So the solution that I'm suggesting or I'm working on is to highlight those negative narratives in the news. How can we find them? How can we highlight them? And how can we make sure that those negative narratives are highlighted and people are aware of? So I worked on an open data set for news. It's called GDELT. It's basically a website that aggregates all news sources. I crawled articles and I extracted those related to refugees. And I extracted sentences that mentions refugees are and what then? What do they describe them? And what's the language that journalism uses when describing refugees, asylum seekers, and even migrants? I apply sentiment analysis techniques to see is it negative or positive to try to automate the process. I extract locations also to be able to map that and visualize it later. I also extract other analytics, like what are the most frequent words, the trigrams that appear around refugees. Users here can help in the accuracy of the sentiment analysis. So users can go to the website and vote, is this positive and negative, to help the classifier get better accuracy to improve the automation later. And they can also visualize the map and understand more the narrative that's going on for refugees around the world just in one website. This is the business model, but I guess I don't have much time. So it's non-profit. I'm looking for partnerships from NGOs and spreading the word. Thank you.
Thank you.
And this is the website. You can go to refugeesr.info and check it out.
It's a very interesting topic that you're addressing. You say I a lot. Are you alone in this, or do you have a team?
I have a partner who's helping with design, but this is mainly part of my master thesis. I'm doing a master thesis in data science, and I'm focusing on this problem. So it's mainly my work, yes.
So is your goal to spin this out and start a company and hire a team? What's your ambitions?
Well, I want to solve the problem of xenophobia as much as I can. Whether it's a research or a paper or a company, I'm still figuring that out. But it's still an early stage project.
Thank you. It's a very ambitious project. To what extent are you trying to partner with other organizations fighting against fake news, or that's how it's called now, such as platforms or newspapers providing data journalism? What are the use cases of your work, and have you started getting into contact with people who could be interested by what you're doing?
I worked previously with UNICEF in the innovation team, and they were interested in the problem, and it was more of an exploratory project. So there's an interest there, but it's like going slowly. So UNICEF is one of the partners, like I would say future partners maybe for the project, but the problem was there and they were interested in the solution, and like as more as it advanced, then they could be one of the users for it. They're also helping like spread the word around it and connecting me to partners.